This video is brought to you by 86. Pick up video game apparel from Skullgirls and Monster Hunter World. 86.com/?AFF equals 4 and let them know that we sent you. Hello everybody, welcome to an E3 podcast. Yes, the E3 has come back around and we are still here doing E3 predictions and all that jazz, because that's what we do here on this YouTube channel of sorts. Before we begin, obviously introductions are in order. My name is Anthony. I am the man behind most of the stuff on this YouTube channel, but with me today, no other than Greg Dietz.
Hello. So I got a question for you. You heard of the game Utopia, right?
I have, yes.
So I didn't get to play it when it was on the Wii U. I think it was Wii U. The DS? I don't remember. The Wii? Whatever. It came out on the Switch recently and I never got a chance to play it. What I didn't realize was that you can download other people's creations. So, does anybody take this game seriously? Like, I have the nuttiest, things in my game. It is really funny. Really funny sometimes.
I don't think anybody really takes it seriously. I mean, outside of outside the character creator, but
Well, because, I have to imagine that somebody was like, I'm going to make my grandma the old lady, and I'm going to make my mom the mom character, and yada yada. While I'm over here going, well, Mario and Sonic are clearly the couple in the first, and then I'm going to make Jerry Seinfeld the villain, and then Hank Hill the mayor of the... that's how I'm playing this game.
Ah, I see.
And I love it. I'm having so much fun with it. It's so stupid. It's so great.
Sounds pretty awesome. Yeah, not to my knowledge. So for those,
other than that,
other than that, though. So for those who are wondering, usually every except for last year, usually every year we do our whole E3 coverage extravaganza. We watch the live stream, we have a reaction, we have predictions, and kind of an end cap of what we thought, what games we're really excited for. So that more than likely will happen again, but in the format of, if you've seen the last several podcasts we've been doing, very loose, very kind of shooting the shit style, so not as organized.
Not very.
Yeah.
Very not structured. It's going to be hey, so, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, definitely. But I do want to begin this off. In my surprise, E3 is back. And it's the funny thing about that is that every outlet before in 2019, every outlet I was watching or listening to saying E3 is dead, it's not coming back, why are we having this, companies should do their own shows, so they have to borrow that time from everybody else during E3. And now E3 is back and I'm seeing the complete opposite. I'm seeing IGN, I'm seeing Kind of Funny, I'm seeing everybody oh, E3's back, we're super excited. I'm like, what? Did I miss something?
Well, you know what's interesting to me is that it doesn't feel like it's E3 in the regards of what we've known E3 to be. It feels like it's E3 in name only. That now the title of E3 is more of a time of the year in which we get video game news versus how do I explain this? Because as far as I know, E3 is not at a convention center. It is not. They're not doing large banquet halls full of people announcing games. Each of these is a showcase, either filmed at a different time or a slightly live showcase. Unless I am wrong.
No, you're correct. So as far as I know, and I have the schedule from both Jeff Grubb and on the GameSpot. E3 specifically is like from June 13th, and then for like 5 days afterwards after that. But there's still Summer Game Fest. There's still a bunch of other companies doing their own thing all throughout the summer. So you can call that E3 technically if you wanted to.
Right. That's because I'm looking here and it says when is the date, and then it says those days are usually a period before the in-person event at the Los Angeles Convention Center, which is Tuesday through Friday. And they're traditionally days where the publishers and developers would hold their conferences. So it's interesting to see a digital E3 event moving into space. And I think that's fascinating to me, because that tells me right there that either one of two things, Anthony. E3 as we used to know it is dead, and this is the future of E3 moving forward. Which, if that's the case, great. I think that's awesome. I know that like LA, made a lot of money during E3. At least the businesses around the convention center, but the thing about E3 that was always bad to me, and we discussed this years prior to whatever you want to call Mission Star Podcast now, that the biggest problem with E3 was it wasn't a public event. It wasn't like a Comic-Con or like some regular Joe Schmo couldn't get in, right? So everyone would call PAX the everyday man's E3. And E3 had evolved from being just a developer conference to straight up, for the masses. It's seen that change over the years. So I think it was a major hindrance on E3 to not have that capability, while everybody at home is still watching the conferences, still watching the pre-written and edited videos. So it moving away from a convention center, I think, is actually very beneficial to E3 as a whole, and will cement its name in history as, hey, every June, E3, period. No convention center, just this is the chunk of time that E3 happens. And I can say that to somebody who maybe doesn't play video games, and they're just like, oh, that's the video game time. Right. That's when everything's announced, and they know. I'm happy about this. The point I'm getting at is I think this is a great idea. I think this is a great moving forward step for them. What I'm interested in is that I know that Xbox and PlayStation and a few of these other companies like Ubisoft, very, very much were a live show function.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated to see how they're going to move out of that space, because personally, I loved Ubisoft's live show because it was cringeworthy.
It was
100% cringeworthy, and I loved the memes coming out of it. So what is going to come of that, I'm fascinated by. I'm looking at all the lists of the people that are confirmed partners, and yeah, there's a few that are brand spanking new, like Gearbox and Bandai Namco. They've never had like a showcase. Warner Brothers, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm super excited. Like I think a lot of this is going to be fun. I think a lot of it's going to be cringy too, and that also excites me because, as we discussed, I love that cringy shit.
Right. I'm curious to see what happens. We've seen, I think, out of the companies we were talking about, or in terms of like what they would look like, transition from live in person to online type of deal. We get a taste of this already with Sony with their State of Plays. Which
they're not going to be at E3.
Yeah, and they're still not going to be at E3. They're going to do their own thing. Per
which
usual.
Is nuts.
So we'll definitely we'll see that for sure when it comes their time to showcase what they are offering.
Yeah. Speaking of Sony, I watched the footage of Horizon Forbidden West.
Oof!
I am so fucking excited that's coming to PS4. Like, I think it is a massive, massive problem that Sony has right now, where they can't realize that not everyone's going to get a PS5.
Yeah.
And a lot of people recently bought PS4 Pros because of the pandemic. To lock a game on a previous, or sorry, on the new console is a problem for them. It will be. They're already seeing it with All-Stars Destruction All-Stars, or whatever the fuck it's called. Like, that game would be more successful if it was on the PS4. It'd be more successful if it was closer to a free-to-play game, or like maybe it was a month free, like Fall Guys was.
Yeah.
Or cheap. I mean, Fall Guys was successful on PC because it was $20, but you know, like, I was so disappointed to hear, you know, this next month, you know, coming into June, I'm not going to be able to play the new Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Because I just don't have a PS5, and I think that's a problem for them. I think that's a legit hindrance for them.
And it's their prerogative, because they want to. It's kind of a rock and a hard place too, because they want to push for people to get PS5s, but at the same time, they know that on two fronts: A, there isn't that many PS5s out there to begin with. B, there's already a shortage of chips that's happening. It's affecting everybody. So it makes it even harder for them to sell more PS5s.
Right.
And C, they are kind of seeing this in the sense, like, they're releasing some of their first-party games onto PC as of late, for them to get money.
Which is a smart move. And I think I may have told you this, but Dr. Lupo made a great post on Twitter about how it was, I don't remember when it was exactly, but it was shortly after a PlayStation showcase, and they were like, every future game that comes out on PlayStation will eventually arrive on PC. And he just responded with, Nintendo's won the console war. And I was like, I wholeheartedly agree. I don't play on PC because I just don't have a good enough PC, but yeah, I mean, if every game that comes out on Xbox and every game that comes out on PS4 comes out on PC eventually, Nintendo's won the console war, if you really want to say it that way.
Yeah.
I think console war's dumb to begin with, but
right.
But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that Sony does I think is really smart and really cool. I think by holding back on having you know, really strong IPs for their console is really smart. But like, there's a good chance that I will buy Horizon Forbidden West on my PS4 Pro and not wait until I have a PS5, just because. And then, like, one of the great things about Xbox is that all of their games are upgradable to the next generation.
Yes.
Will I be able to do that with a fucking PlayStation? So it's like,
it's funny. Microsoft has everything lined up, and it's so consumer friendly in terms of getting a thing to upgrade to the next thing, or getting it much easier than Sony does. The only problem with them is the same as it has been for the past couple of years. It's just like, they don't have many first-party IPs that people are really excited about. They may change in the next coming years now that they bought Bethesda, with that talk of, Starfield going to become an exclusive to Xbox. So,
well, that's I think something that we'll definitely have to, because I mean, the first thing on the list here is Xbox, and I think that's something to absolutely discuss. You know, I was talking to our friend Maya, who is a big Bethesda fan, loves RPGs, and was really excited for Starfield. And when it was announced that it's going to be an Xbox exclusive, or you know, Windows PC, her response was, "Oh, it's a good thing I have a PC." And I think that's an interesting response, mainly because that's exactly what's going to happen down the road. That's what's going to happen down in the future, is that Microsoft doesn't give a flying fuck whether you have a PC or an Xbox. As long as you have Game Pass, that's all they care about. As long as you buy the games that they have rights to, that they get money from, that's all they care about. And I think ultimately, this goes back to why I think having games exclusively for the PS5 is a bad idea. It just hinders, man. Like, it just fucking hinders.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that Xbox is definitely doing something correct. Yes, I agree. You know the guy that got to 1 million gamer score first?
Yes.
Stallion something or other?
Yeah.
He tweeted out like, 6 months into the Xbox Series X grade, and he like listed everything, and he gave like first party titles a straight up F.
Yeah.
And I have to agree.
Yeah.
There just aren't really any great first party titles on the Xbox. Now, you got to ask yourself, why is that? Why is that the case? And I think it's simple. They're trying to build a library of third-party games that they have exclusive rights to. That's it.
I would.
Do you think?
I would.
Can you think of another reason?
So you're right, but I also would say they have bought so many studios in the last couple of years that are going to make first-party exclusive games for Microsoft. The question is, we haven't seen a lick of any of them. That's the problem. So we're just kind of assuming, and we're just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. Of all these studios they bought up to make these games, and if they land, and I think I remember talking about this, if all those studios they bought, if all of them make, at least half of them, make a banger of a game, on top of Game Pass, on top of everything else, like set up consumer friendly wise, they would be in a very, very good position. But we have wait to see that right now, and Sony is right now just hitting out of the park, game after game, when it comes to first party.
Fucking somebody on Twitter said, and I completely agree with this, like, PlayStation does not have to compete with Game Pass. They don't. And why don't they? Because of their first party titles.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically speaking, sure, was it weird to download MLB The Show 2021 on my Xbox and see a PlayStation logo on an Xbox game? Yes, it absolutely was weird. But that's one out of a ton of PlayStation exclusive games. I just think that what would benefit PlayStation in regards to that is don't compete with Microsoft directly. And I think that's what's hurting them a little bit. And I say hurting very loosely because clearly they sold more PS5s than Xbox sold Series X, but that's also part of the point that Xbox is trying to make. Because if you look at the number of PlayStation Now sales versus Game Pass sales, it's drastically fucking different. I think I lost my train of thought. There was a point I was making with this, and now it's just gone. Had to do with exclusives and whatnot. But the point of the matter is that PlayStation doesn't have to compete with Game Pass because of their exclusives. And I think if they continue to launch exclusives on both the PS4 and the PS5 for the time being, that'll greatly benefit them.
Yes.
They will sell more copies in general. But you're gonna see this, like, until there's no shortage of that chip, and there's readily stock available on the shelf of PS4 and PS5s. Mm-hmm. You're gonna see like PlayStation kind of suffer a little bit, I think, because both companies take a hit, when they make these consoles. The PS5 and the Xbox Series X cost more money to make than they're selling it for. It's just a matter of fact. Like, and they've always done that. They've done that since the 360 and the PS3.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
But that's, again, they're not trying to make money off of console sales. They're trying to make money off of
Game Pass.
Game sales. Game sales.
Okay.
And like, yes, Microsoft with Game Pass, totally, like 100%. But PlayStation's game sales. Nintendo, for that matter, it's game sales. Mm-hmm. So, like, I still remember to this day, Anthony, when I was working at Walmart and the Wii had come out, and we had a representative from, I don't think it was from Nintendo, but it was like something related to Nintendo, but it was basically like, or Nintendo had gone to the headquarters of Walmart, and then that guy came into Walmart and told us. But basically, long story short, we had to try to push first-party titles. We had to try to push controllers that were Nintendo-based. Not like the stuff that was on our shelf that was off-brand or the shovelware that was on the Wii. We had to sell Nintendo brand products because Nintendo, even though they made insane money on the Wii, they were like a year later after it came out, they were like losing money because people had bought the Wii. They had Wii Sports. They had maybe Mario Kart, and that's all they cared about. Nobody bought any fucking other first-party titles on the Wii. Like, and I don't say nobody, like, the amount that they thought they were going to sell on the Wii is probably the amount of people that bought the games.
Right.
But, you know, for all those, like, people who bought that system for young, you know, for their 5 to 10-year-old, and then, you know, the grandmas and the older generation, like my mom who got one for her 50th birthday, like, they didn't care. My mom had 2 games, Wii Sports and Mario Kart. And do you know how much Mario Kart got played? I could have rented that and got as much entertainment as much as she played it. So, and the point I'm getting at with this is that I know this is the knowledge that I have. I know this is how this works. So when it comes to how these companies need to sell their games, need to kind of push their games,
right?
I know that they need to sell first party. I know that they need to sell directly. Yes, I have a jug of water in my bedroom. Don't judge me. Yeah, it's like a Nintendo representative once told me when I was in a GameStop and he was there doing something, and he was like, oh yeah, you know, they tell us when we come in here to like look at what the stock is and all that kind of stuff to tell the employees to push Nintendo products, which is contradictory to what the people working in the store are told, where GameStop wants them to sell third-party products, you know, because that's how they make money. So it's this weird fucking dichotomy that doesn't quite mesh inside stores. But besides the point, I know that PlayStation needs to sell those first-party titles, and they do a great job at that. You know, you looked at Last of Us 2, you look at Horizon Zero Dawn, you look at God of War. They sell insane fucking amounts of money. And PlayStation has a lot of great IPs that they can run with. But for some reason, they're just on the shelf. Like, it's kind of interesting, Anthony, that we get this big showcase of PlayStation, and we don't hear about Twisted Metal, Jak and Daxter. We don't hear about, like, a new Spyro. Nothing. We get mostly Horizon Zero Dawn, or sorry, Forbidden West.
Yeah.
Like,
I can just tell you the part of the reason why it didn't sell as much as they wanted to. Like Twisted Metal, the last
which one?
Like Twisted Metal. Like that didn't sell as much as they hoped for. And you know, Spyro, I have hopes for Spyro. Like, didn't their remaster just come out recently?
Yeah, it did. But, I mean, how well did it do? Did it do well enough for them to try to make a new one?
Good point. I don't know. That's, yeah, it's a very good point. And I think it didn't because, as far as I remember, Crash Bandicoot sold a lot and that got a sequel. So, yeah, that tells you anything in terms of like why Spyro doesn't have a sequel to them yet.
I mean, we know that, like, I think the funniest part to me is that we know Nintendo is making new games. We know that Nintendo's out there like, hey, we got a sequel to Breath of the Wild. We have Metroid Prime 4. Granted, we told you way the fuck too early, but we know it. And the fact that we don't know that about any of the other IPs that Nintendo owns, or I'm sorry, PlayStation owns, is wild to me. Like, and that's the thing, like, I gotta say this much, like, I'm also for not announcing games too fucking early. Like,
right.
6 months out is should be the limit. Period.
I think people should definitely keep the expectations in check this year. Just because...
Oh, 100%.
Just because it was an indicator. Look at the Sonic event they had. Much of that, like, was it exciting? It depends on how big of a Sonic fan you are. I'm not gonna get a blinged out necklace of walking down the street when that comes. Oh, I might actually, but like if you look at that and you set expectations to that, because like we've already been seeing it this year. There hasn't been that many big game releases coming out this year, and much of these games that are expected to come out this year are being delayed. So I think for this year, like there may not be as many big games as out there releasing or big announcements this year as one hoped for.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that like I think is important to keep in mind as a gamer. And you, I know that you and I don't have the biggest fucking reach, and we do this podcast just because we want to. But not only do I think people need to keep their expectations in check, I think that they also need to realize that games are going to be delayed, and that's a good thing. Ultimately, that's a good thing. Do I think that like Devolver Digital makes satire about it best? And that's the hype that comes from this shit. The hype that spawns off of everyone being super and way too excited for these games, and that the companies kind of feed off the hype. And if the hype isn't high enough for a game between the announcement to the release, the company kind of doesn't advertise it. And then it just does really poorly. Or they push it too early because they're like, the hype's too high, we got to release it now. And then you get an Anthem.
Yep. Yeah.
Or a Cyberpunk.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I think that's definitely important, is that gamers themselves need to keep their expectations in check. Need to keep their not even fucking expectations in check. Just keep your shit in check. Just keep the like
yeah.
There's so much to that is so important that I think if I watch the Xbox showcase and it is borderline nothing, so what? If we watch the Nintendo showcase and they don't announce a fucking thing that we care about, oh well.
Mm-hmm.
Relax. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, there's been I've been hearing about this rumor for a long time. Apparently, it was supposed to happen this past Thursday during the Sega event. There is some talk that Nintendo is going to announce before E3 even happens the Pro version of the Nintendo Switch. I've been hearing about this rumor for a while. It's just even more so recently. I forgot who it was that kind of like was hinting at it on Twitter that people latch onto. So, I kind of felt like it's kind of been a known thing, or it's going to happen like in the fall. So, yeah, it will happen. I'm trying to word it in a way. It's just like, is it gonna happen? Is it not gonna? It's gonna happen. Like, the more I think about it, I'm curious to see if it does, in terms of like how well that will sell in September. Because again, we're in a chip shortage, so again, limited supply will only be sold. So I'm kind of curious to see how that plays out. But yeah, that's happening. At least I believe it's happening. Outside of that, out of curiosity, have you been keeping up with kind of the, I guess, pre-E3 stuff that's been happening in the past week?
I keep it up with it as best I can. I get the chance to look at Twitter while door dashing because I'm not the one driving.
Right.
But I watched some of the stuff from Horizon Forbidden West and Far Cry 6. There was another one that happened that I did not watch at all. I don't remember what it was though. Let me go to that list that you gave me a while back.
Was it Dying Light or Dragon?
Yeah, I didn't watch any of the Dying Light Stay Human. Dying Light 2 Stay Human. And I did not watch. It was the Dragon Quest stuff.
Oh, right. Yeah, the Square Enix stuff. I didn't catch much of it either. I did see the what was it, Dragon Quest 3 like remake, but done in the Octopath engine, and man, that looks so good. Like, I kind of wish every Final Fantasy 2D or any RPG 2D game for that matter done in that engine. It just looks so good in it. It's like, it's so freaking awesome.
Yeah. Let's see. It was Dragon Quest, Sonic Central, Forbidden West, Dying Light 2, Chicken Brother. Don't know what the fuck that is, and that's it.
I think Chicken Brother was Far Cry 6.
Okay.
Far Cry 6 in the morning.
That makes sense.
Which was funny because when I was watching that reveal event for like a good half hour, it was like an atmospheric motion video with no gameplay that was supposed to. Well, that was showcasing, and I'm here tweeting like, "There's no gameplay in this entire trailer. What am I watching?" And then they and then they show the trailer or the actual gameplay. It's like, "Oh, okay, here it is." And I was like, by the end of it, it's like, "Okay, Far Cry, you got me." I was kind of hating on it for a little bit just because you weren't showing me anything other than a really cool motion video. And then it's like, "Oh, here's the gameplay." It's like, "Oh, okay, cool, okay, yeah, I'm happy now." So.
I'm looking down at this because I'm on GamesRadar.com, and
gotcha.
I'm looking at like their predictions for E3 because I don't know that I really have any. I mean, we talked about this in the past. I'm not the world's biggest fan of doing predictions just because I like to talk about maybe what I want to see, but expectations are so fucking ridiculous sometimes, as we discussed a minute ago.
Right.
And they have written here like Bayonetta 3 or Metroid Prime 4 would be nice. Sure. Don't expect it.
It would be nice. I haven't heard anything from those games in 4 years? But no, more than that, I think.
Yeah. It's Metroid Prime 4 has been like, I want to say that they announced it in 2016. I could be wrong about that, but that's what it feels like.
For those who are long-time listeners, that was the one time where I was on stream, like, going nuts about. And then Greg was saying, "I can hear your boner from here."
Oh, for Bayonetta 3, yeah. They also have, like, I know, like, we're likely going to get some information about the Breath of the Wild sequel. And Pokemon Legends, Arceus. But like definitely like some like maybe a release date. I don't know. Is there a release date for the Shining Diamond and Sparkling Pearl, or what the fuck it's called?
No, as far as I know,
no.
No, not yet.
So probably a release date for those two.
I'm expecting a Smash character to be shown.
For sure.
And outside of that, for Nintendo, maybe something. Did the new what was the game called? No More Heroes game. Did that come out?
No, not yet.
Okay, then I'm expecting probably something from them. Maybe a trailer, maybe something.
That's a maybe. That's a big maybe. I think that Suda51. I almost couldn't remember his name for a minute there, or whatever the fucking call sign is. Yeah, I mean, if it is, it might like be him coming on to say like real quick, like, "It's still in production," because I feel like he's the kind of developer that's like, I'm not releasing it until I'm ready to release it. Period.
Oh, I could definitely see it. No, I could definitely see it. Yeah, no doubt. We might see.
I'm trying to think of what other Mario like they did a Mario thing a few weeks ago or a couple weeks ago. Didn't they? They did a Mario one, right?
Yeah. So they had the Mario, the death of Mario. They had the Mario 35th anniversary thing happen with the Mario. What do they call it? It was the same thing they did with Tetris. I forgot what it's called.
Mario 30. They did the Mario 35.
Yeah, it's basically Tetris 99 type of deal.
Well, yeah, but that was. I feel like there was something that Nintendo did here very recently that was showing off all of like a bunch of Mario shit. And when I say recently, I'm talking like a couple weeks ago. maybe a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the
oh my gosh,
the collection, the 3 game collection that they did.
No, because the 3D All Stars collection and Mario 35 were at the end of last year, and they left in March.
Mario Golf, is that it?
Oh, it was when they announced Mario. That's what it was. Okay, recent Nintendo Direct. There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo Direct Archive. Thank you, Nintendo.com. Appreciate that.
Nice.
Let's see. It was on the 17th of February, so not recent in the fucking slightest.
It may feel recent, but no.
Yeah, I'm just holding on to it because they never do a direct anymore. Let's see. So Splatoon 3 was announced, which I'm very excited for. So we might get some more of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I doubt it because they definitely said like it's coming out in 2022. So, but I think you're 100% on the mark with the Smash Brothers character.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to buy Mario Golf, by the way. Like, I'm very excited for that.
Mm-hmm. It looks really fun. I like the mode where you have to run and just hit the ball as fast as you can. It's great.
Yeah. No, it's going to be great. I wonder if we're going to get a date for Fall Guys on the Switch/Xbox.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because the company that makes it put out a thing here like last month or so that was like, hey everybody, so we know that you're really excited for it to come out on these consoles, but it's not ready and it's going to take a little bit more time. Sorry for the delay. So maybe.
Yeah.
Ooh, I want more information on that Star Wars Hunters game.
Oh right.
The squad-based free-to-play multiplayer.
I could see that. I could see that being shown up at E3. I can see it.
It's gonna be hopeful that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it for the latest announcements from Nintendo.
Yeah. That sounds about right. Maybe some indies, probably indie showcase of like Nintendo games.
I really, really hope for some really good indies. I know that like Hades was big for Nintendo because you can't get Hades on anything but Nintendo and PC. So
I'm surprised it's not on. Is it not on PS4 or on Sony?
As far as I know, it's not, but I can double check. I mean, I bought it on my Switch because I didn't think I could get it on anything else.
Double check here in a second. That is
Wikipedia.
Oh wow, you're right. Wow, hasn't happened yet. That is crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane.
And there's no sign of if it will or won't. So I don't know.
Wow, that's crazy.
You know what I'd really like to see them announce? Like what they have with the NES and the Super NES, maybe something like that for the 64 and or GameCube.
That'd be cool. I don't think it will, but that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that's all you can say to that too. Is like that'd be nice, but you know, at the end of the day, it's like, well, can't really do anything about it.
Mm-hmm. I would just.
I'll
throw it out there. I think it'd be kind of hard to do an N64 one, only because they would have to kind of go through hoops with the copyright with some of their games, because some of the most popular N64 games are third party and kind of tied in the copyright, like GoldenEye 007.
Yeah, right.
So,
but you know, I think but Microsoft owns that shit, and they've had a really good relationship with Nintendo for a hot minute. I don't see why Rare games couldn't be on the Switch.
That is true. That's true.
In their original form.
I think the only thing will get tricky is I'm not sure what the details are, but like it also included like Pierce Brosnan or like actual like actors that are involved. So
yeah, you're probably right about that, because that was one of the problems with the Scott Pilgrim game.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see.
We're definitely going to see a lot with Game Builder Garage, because I think that game. Let's see, Game Builder Garage release date. Game Builder. Whoops.
Which one is that? Which one is that one? I'm kind of out of the loop on that one.
It is so June 11th is when it comes out. Their conference is on. Oh boy. After it, so okay, never mind. They might show some about it. Anyway, Garage Builder is a think of Mario Maker, but for everything. Like, you can make any kind of game you want with this program. Basically, did you ever see what the game builder aspect was for the that cardboard set that they had? I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. I bought one.
Yeah. I think I saw something about that. What you're talking about? Yeah.
Basically, in that cardboard game, like, you could sit there and take nodes and like attach them and then make things. Some people made some crazy shit with that program. And it was nuts. Well, they basically made that for just in its own digital platform. And what I'm going to buy the game about a week after it releases, just so I can play everyone's creation. But like, go watch their fucking little showcase on it, dude. Like, I'm highly impressed. Cool. I'm like, yes, fucking give us that. Cool. You know what I'd also like to see? Metroid Prime Trilogy come to the Switch.
That is something I think would be welcome. I remember hearing it's been a long ago, maybe like 2-3 years ago, people were talking about a Metroid Prime Trilogy coming to Switch. I feel like it was announced, or maybe it was talked about. But that would be cool to see. I think it's a very underrated series. I say underrated. I know there's billions of fans for that series, but like I still feel it's underrated. MIO. But that'd be cool to see. Yeah, for sure.
I think, one of the problems for me was that it came out at the same time. I'm actually going to double check this, but it came out around the same time that I started playing Halo, and Halo was a dual stick first-person shooter, and I was so used to that that when I went and played Metroid Prime, which is a single stick shooter, it was so hard for me to play. So yeah, Halo Combat Evolved came out in 2001, and then Metroid Prime. And Metroid Prime came out in 2002. So there you go. I hated it. I hated the control scheme of Metroid Prime. And I think Metroid Prime would be greatly fucking beneficial from having a dual stick shooter. Or being a dual stick shooter. Yeah. And if they could re-release the original trilogy as a dual stick shooter, holy shit, would it blow up?
Yeah.
Granted, they have to kind of maybe rewrite the whole code, but I don't fucking know.
Right. Funny story about Metroid Prime. So it is. So I worked with my uncle for a summer, and I end up making enough to buy a console with a controller in the game. So I bought the GameCube with Metroid Prime. Did not have enough money to buy the memory card to come with it. So every time I play Metroid Prime, I would just simply play it all over again every time and see how far I can get. So yeah, short little story about that. It was Sega was playing a roguelike before roguelikes even was invented. Let's see. Going through.
Was Metroid Prime a roguelike?
No. I'm just making that joke because it's.
Like.
It's basically me just replaying the entire game over and over again.
Yeah, I gotcha. Speaking of that, on a slight side note, I am massively impressed with Resident Evil 8.
Oh yeah, the game is great.
You reminded me with like what you were talking about there for a second, because I was recalling like all of the Resident Evils in my head since I've been a kid, because I've been playing them since the first one had come out on the PlayStation. Granted, I was really young and I was at a friend's house. I've been watching Resident Evil be played for years because God knows I can't play them. Do you remember when I was doing the podcast with John and Ben?
for RE or just in general?
Just in general.
Oh yeah, just in general.
The only game I ever actually played and completed was Resident Evil 6, and that was for that podcast. And I remember going, that wasn't even remotely scary.
Yeah, that's not a good game.
Which, well, it's not a bad game. It plays well. It's fine. It's not annoying, but it's definitely one of those things where it's like, it wasn't a horror game. I think that was the problem with it. It just wasn't a horror game. But anyway, I got detracted because I was just recalling it all in my head of like playing through 1, 2, and 3, playing the metric fuck ton out of 2 because there was like a bunch of different endings and the true ending, which took so much time to get to, and then like 4 came out and I was like, why is 4 so different than me? And then I got into it by watching it be played, and then the girl that I can't remember her name, Leon Hell. Oh, being annoyed by that.
Yeah, blonde girl.
And then
yes.
Yeah, and then watching 2 YouTubers play Resident Evil 5, and going, well, that was a cool looking game. That looked like fun. But going, well, boy, this fucking story is getting real convoluted with like Wesker and shit. And then interviewing the girl who played Shiva from 5 at that convention, which was nuts. Then playing 6 and critiquing the living hell out of it. I even did a bit about breaking boxes in that game. That there's got to be a company out there that's just making wooden boxes that are breakable with just a single piece of ammo in them. And then there was and then I watched all of 7 and I was like, wow, that's really fucking scary. They did a good job. I remember going back and playing like Resident Evil 0 and going like, that was interesting. And then there was one that was basically a light gun game.
Yes.
Yes. I don't remember the name of it, but there was another one that we tried to play on the PS2 with the internet capability.
Oh, Outbreak. That's yeah.
Outbreak, thank you. Yeah. Like Resident Evil's been a huge like. I'm gonna go deep dive on you, Anthony. Have you ever played Resident Evil Gaiden on the Game Boy Advance?
No, I have not.
Yeah, go look up that game. We had it. We played it. I joke like you think I'm joking? Like seriously, Google. I'm not. Google it right now. Google it right now. I'm not
disbelieving you. I just, I'm not surprised. Resident Evil goes deep. The length of what that series have made over the years. Like, I'm not surprised it was on the Game Boy back then. So like, yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you got me on that track because you were like talking about playing a certain game back when you were a kid and just never fucking stopping playing it and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, all right, go ahead. Sorry.
I was like, because we did that with Resident Evil. That was so.
Speaking of which, assuming RE that Versus game's coming out this summer, the RE All-Star third person. No, there's a first person.
Yeah,
yeah, like that's.
It's a third person. It's third person.
Yeah, that's happening this summer. So, supposedly, unless they get get delayed.
Well, if the sales of fucking 8, like. That's got to tell fucking Capcom something. That's like
the direction that they've taken 7 and 8, like they kind of found the formula. So it's like, oh, hey, cool, people like RE again. So,
well, this is I kind of mentioned this to a friend about Lady D, Dimitrescu, that what she does or what they did with her was correct fan. What do you call that? Sorry. I almost said fan bait, but that's not the right term.
Meme?
Fan service.
Fan service, okay, yeah.
It is... They made her to be a character that everyone kind of went, I like that. I like that a lot. But also on the same note, didn't make her too ridiculous. That it was like obvious fan service.
Yeah.
It was just kind of fan service. And then they went and said like they made her and they were like, it's kind of fan service, no worry about it. And then whenever we were just kind of like, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Everybody, didn't matter what gender, everyone loved it.
Yep.
And they went, maybe we can run with this just a little bit. Why don't we give them like how tall she actually is and see how that goes down? and then go to their TikTok and then go, oh, they don't know what they're doing? No, they know what the fuck they're doing.
Mm-hmm. No, they leaned into it. It's like they knew exactly what they're doing. It was great.
100%. Well, let's move on to what Xbox might be doing. Might be bringing to the table.
Right. I'm gonna say update on Halo Infinite. Maybe gameplay. Maybe a trailer. Outside of that, joke insert here. Microsoft buys in their studio. Microsoft.
I feel like that's obvious at this point.
Yeah. I would say third-party games will be shown again. Advertising about Game Pass. You know, how good it is, how great it is. Sizzle reel of indies. We might see a release date for Cuphead's DLC. Outside of that, I'm probably expecting an update on...
we're going to get a ton of games announced way the fuck too early. That's what we're going to get.
Yeah, we're going to get a ton of, like, first-party Microsoft games that are just going to be like... mysterious game trailer of a game. We'll see you in there 2-3 years. Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's gonna be fucking stupid because this is what they do all the time.
Yeah.
But the positive side is that even if it is announced early, as long as they finish it with coming to Game Pass day one, I'm totally fucking okay with it.
Yes.
It won't bother me in the slightest, just because I know that we're getting it. I know that we're getting it. So, like, I don't have to pay extra money for it when it comes out. So that's going to be nice, but...
I would say my Hail Mary for Microsoft, I could take it 2 games. One, I said it earlier, Starfield exclusive to Xbox and Game Pass. That's going to be one of the big Hail Marys I'm going to put out there. The other Hail Mary... that I was gonna say, and I totally blank on the game right now. Actually, yeah, give me a second. I'll come back to me at some point. Oh yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. Sorry, I was thinking something else, but go for it.
This over here says Fable 4, which we know was talked about at some point, but no confirmation on if it was going to be actually announced or whatever. So,
right. Fable 4, I don't expect anything this E3 from them, so maybe a gameplay trailer, but I don't expect anything from them.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything either.
Yeah. Maybe Gears? I don't know. That's kind of that's a far-fetched in my opinion. We'll see anything.
Oh no!
New Gears.
Yeah, 5 came out too recently. 5 came out way too recently. I don't think that they're even remotely close to making a 6 yet.
Yeah.
I feel like Bethesda's gonna have a giant chunk of it, giant chunk of the showcase.
Oh, I think so too.
For whatever reason. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else. Like, I really hope that I just really hope that they drop something that makes me go, holy shit, that's amazing.
Right.
I mean, that's my wish. Again, you know, shit in one hand and wish in the other, see which one fills up first. But
I mean, the big oh shit moment would be, Microsoft buys a studio, but it's a big Japan studio, and they've been talking about this for a while.
What if it was Square Enix? Just what if? I know it's not going to happen, but what if they go, we've acquired Square Enix for exclusive rights?
There's no way. because that'd be.
Well, I didn't say it was gonna happen.
Oh, I know. If that bomb dropped, you meet everybody on the internet would just lose their minds and just be like, blah, just like, oh my god. If they were gonna buy a Japanese studio, I think Sega would probably be the closest thing they would get, just because they had a good working relationship with them. They brought what was it? That MMO back to Xbox. That was announced like 2-3 years ago. That was long forgotten. I forgot the name of it.
Phantasy Star Online.
Yes. They brought that back, so I could see them buying Sega if it happens. But I don't know.
I feel like if it's any major fucking Japanese company, it's going to rock the foundation. Like, I can't even imagine. I legit can't even imagine what studio it would be that wouldn't make us fucking collectively shit our pants.
Capcom. I would throw out.
No, I said there. wouldn't make us collectively shit our
wouldn't. Some unknown third part. Konami. Wait, people still shit themselves anyways.
Yeah.
I was saying, wait a minute.
I was like.
Yeah.
Though if it was Konami, that'd be dope. That would be really fucking cool. Because then,
yeah, that'd be sick. I'd be like, can they finally release all their titles that have been keeping up in their dungeon free? Like, can we see Contra? Can we see Metal Gear? All those back again? Castlevania?
Yeah, a ton of them. Yeah, I just. I don't know. Like, I mean, we can not argue. I was like, we can speculate on bombshells. But realistically, like, with Xbox's history, like, it's not going to be that impressive. I feel like it won't be. Right. They're just going to talk about a bunch of stuff that we already knew that was going to happen or come out.
Yeah.
Add more information for us. Like, I think that's it. I think that's really all we're getting. Like this says here, a solid roadmap of what's coming out on the Series X.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
I don't think I'm expecting that too much from them. Okay. So
see, let's so what's up?
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, unless you wanted to wrap it up, I was gonna say Ubisoft might have a really good one this year, because we saw stuff with Far Cry 6, and I think they were getting Far Cry 6 out of the way.
Oh, true.
Because they have a lot of stuff that they could announce. They could announce some stuff for Skull and Bones, Beyond Good and Evil 2. A new Rainbow Six.
Can I just say, it's the fact that Skull and Bones is still alive somehow. It's just remarkable.
Yeah, no shit, dude. No shit.
I thought that
I was actually talking.
I thought it was vaporware at this point.
It's what's so funny to me is that when they first announced it, it was shortly after, or at least like a year or so after, I almost said Resident Evil, Assassin's Creed 4 came out.
Yeah.
And everyone, like, that was the biggest thing about number 4 that everyone loved, was the pirate combat. And it was like, oh, we're making a whole game of that. And then it was delayed because they wanted to add more stuff. And we all were like, okay, cool, fine, great. Like, let's do that. You're gonna make a great game in regards to that. That sounds fantastic. And then it just kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. And it was like, why are like? I guess the reason I'm saying this in the way that I am, Anthony, is because I want a game to get delayed if it's making the game better. What's the reason that Skull and Bones is getting delayed? Because at first it was like, we're adding more combat to it, we're adding more options for what players can play in, and we're adding a story mode and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, that's great, that's cool, but what else is it now just polishing? Because if that's great, release it soon.
Right.
I don't know, it just seems it's definitely in that category of Cyberpunk. It's 100% in the category of Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
So my hopes on it being a good game are not very high. They just aren't. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope the game is great, but
right. Outside of that, like, in terms of Ubisoft stuff, like, I'm not expecting much. I don't think...
I definitely want a musical number for the next
Just Dance. Yeah. Let's see the dancing mascots come out and dance. I don't care if it's on its own or it's a scripted thing. I just want to see that. That's just hilarious to me every time.
It's so much fun. Like, I don't understand how people are like, ain't too cringy. No, I'm like, no, dude, like it's hilarious.
It's so good. It's so good. It can't be if Ubisoft copies without one.
Yeah.
Probably see
we can move on to.
Or talking real quick and say, probably see some more stuff about Far Cry 6. I'm seeing the list here. Rainbow Six Quarantine.
See, I don't think we will see anything about Far Cry 6 at all, because we had that big one here a couple days ago.
I think we'll see a little bit more. You know, there are games that Ubisoft have put out during E3 where you saw one part of it in one press conference, you see more of it during their press conference. So I think that might be the case. Outside of that, like, maybe Beyond Good and Evil 2. Maybe. I don't think so, but maybe. And then maybe some other new games from Ubisoft, but that's about it. I'm not expecting much out of Ubisoft this year.
Yeah, I guess, not expecting much in a certain regard for sure, but they definitely need to talk about games that people have been highly anticipating, like at least some kind of update. So
yeah, updates probably.
I know people really want a new Splinter Cell, but I could care less about that franchise.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
I know.
Square Enix. What are we expecting for Square Enix?
They already had their showcase this past last Wednesday. Unless they got more stuff coming. If they got or unless it was a small teaser. Remember last Wednesday? They showcased Dragon Quest and.
I thought it was just Dragon Quest.
No, it was just Dragon Quest, maybe.
But I remember just being Dragon Quest stuff.
I could have sworn, man. I thought it was just all E3 Square Enix stuff. But okay, if there are more stuff to be shown, I would say update on Final Fantasy 15 or whatever the new Final Fantasy game they're working on. We'll see an update to that.
Well, I mean, definitely extra stuff on Final Fantasy 14 online.
Yes, for sure.
It's not going to do anything for Avengers.
I think they will throw a bone to Avengers. I think they'll have here's a new DLC coming. Isn't what's her name out already, or is it still in the works? Hawkeye's daughter?
Oh god, she's been out for a hot minute, and
okay.
It's Kate, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, Kate was out for a long time, and her story was leading up to a whole thing with her dad disappearing, Clint disappearing, and he comes back, and he was stuck in this horrible future where everybody died except for him and Hulk. And you can actually play as Clint from young Clint, or you can play as old man Hawkeye. Which they kind of changed his outfit or changed his look from the old man Hawkeye from the old man Logan storyline.
Oh, cool, dope.
But the old man, or the imperfect future, I think is what it's called, or some shit like that. It's actually a pretty cool idea for a story in the game like this. I liked Avengers. What I think Avengers suffered from significantly was what every single one of these types of looter shooter style games suffers from, and that's lack of shit to do. Oh, did you fully level up this one hero? Well, now do it again with another hero and fight the same series of fucking things again and again and again and again. It just gets too grindy. Way the fuck too grindy. Oops. So by the time the story's done, you're not fully
Don't mind that. Sorry, I was responding to my dad and I accidentally just clicked on you.
Just if that was my phone or your phone. Or whatever you call it. Yeah, it just suffered from just not a whole lot to fucking do once you were done. And I think that's just a symptom of looter shooters in general. But yeah, I don't know. I know they're going to talk about their bigger franchises, and
yeah, they're going to talk FF7, talking about the DLC that would just have came out at the time. They're going to talk about their mobile games, their remake of FF7. chapters that they're doing with mobile. I'm pretty sure, as well as that. What was it, that battle royale Final Fantasy happening?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they'll talk about that for sure. Outside of that, I don't think anything else will be talked about unless they do.
Yeah, nothing super substantial. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I don't think there's going to be anything that's going to blow us away. And I want to keep this energy, because if they do, I want to be fucking gobsmacked.
Right.
Ooh, like, I'm going to throw something out there I probably shouldn't, but a new Legend of Mana.
Didn't they release it recently on Steam? The I won't say a remake of it, but like a port of it.
Yeah, I think it was a port.
Yeah, I heard it wasn't good. I remember looking it up, and then I seen a bunch of people just angry about it. It's just like, oh wow, okay. So
it's so funny because Square Enix is like super hit or miss on their game.
Yeah.
Like insanely hit or miss. And I think one of them, like, one of their misses is standard based RPGs or like Avengers, because their hits are, you know, Final Fantasy VII Remake was outstanding. Just fucking great. And then Tomb Raider was amazing. So, like, more of that stuff, please. Like, that's fun.
Right.
That's genuinely fun. I mean, I'm looking at some of their old franchises here, trying to see if like maybe anything will pop up. Let's see. Okay, picture. I need you to load a lot quicker. I know that. Oh man. Oh, those aren't Square Enix games. Those are just games coming to Game Pass. I don't know why I'm looking at that. Thanks for popping up for me on Twitter. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. They have a lot that they could bring out. They have a lot that they could surprise us with and punch us in the goop.
So I will ask this question because we have an insider, somebody we know. What do you think is going to come out at a limited run game showcase?
Jeez. I think limited run is not going to have a whole lot this year, genuinely. I haven't been told anything.
Yeah, nor have I.
In a hot minute.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to poke the bear either. So
I think they're going to have a few, like, their whole showcase is going to be like, hey, this game that came out like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago on in digital form, we're going to have a physical form. I don't think they're going to have anything like that Star Wars extravaganza they had, extravaganza. They had like a year ago. I don't think anything like that's going to come from limited run this round.
So I will throw this out there, and I'm going off of PC Gamers or PCGames.com. There's a mention that it has a close relationship indies like Way Forward. There might be something here for PC nerds too. So, didn't Way Forward release, or didn't they release a physical form of the Shantae games, like the old ones?
Yeah.
Okay. They might do other indie stuff with Way Forward. You know what? Anything Way Forward, I'm totally on board with. So if more Way Forward old games turn to physical, hell yeah, I'm down for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't think they're gonna have anything unreal. Like it's just gonna be physical copies of shit that's already out.
Yeah.
We could be surprised. They could have made a deal with because I know that they recently announced it. Let me pull it up on Twitter, but there was a game that came out on the Genesis, and they were able to re-release it in a Genesis cart.
Sick. That is awesome.
Twitter limited run. Again, one of the things that I'm most excited about when it comes to E3 in general is the Devolver Digital Showcase.
Yeah. I think they're bringing that game back again for Devolver, or it might be a new one they might have made the interactive Devolver Digital level that you can play through.
Oh yeah. No, that was so brilliant, dude.
It's so cool. I wish there's
so smart.
I wish there's a VR version of that. That'd be super sick.
I'm looking through their Twitter. I'm trying to find that game that they released in an actual Genesis cart.
Nice.
Oh, that's what it was. So, I think it was the first 4 Mega Man games.
Ooh.
Or the first 3 Mega Man games.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But it released as Mega Man: The Wily Wars on the Genesis.
Yes.
And they're re-releasing the Wily Wars in a Genesis cart in an old school case that you would get a Genesis cart in.
That is pretty wild, because like the Wily Wars are basically a Genesis port of the Mega Man games that came from Super Nintendo. So you're playing a port of a port. It's crazy. I was like, what the hell? I remember playing it just on offhand, and it's so weird to see.
Yeah, it is bizarre. Here we go, share. I unfollowed fucking Limited Run on accident, so now I gotta click on it again, and here we go.
Don't let our friend know that. We're like, why did you follow? It's like, oh, my mistake.
It'll be aight. What else was I gonna say? I forgot.
Anything else on the list that you want to put out there in terms of predictions?
Yeah, I'm looking at all the companies. Like, I want to see what Warner Brothers fucking showcases. One of my favorite, or one of my most anticipated games that Warner Brothers is making is I don't remember the company the studio that's doing it, but as a production company, that's what they're doing. But anyway, oh my gosh. The Gotham game, but the
Rockstar.
You play as
Rockstar Games.
Not Rockstar Games.
Oh, not Rockstar. Rocksteady. Yeah.
Rocksteady game.
Yeah.
I think it's called Gotham Knights, and what it is that Batman's dead, or at least he is assumed dead, and he leaves basically Gotham in charge of Nightwing, Batgirl, Red Hood, and Robin, who are oh my god, Jason Todd.
You can do it.
Barbara Gordon is obviously Batgirl.
Yes.
Or at least that's what I think it is the case. Red Hood is... Why am I drawing a blank on his fucking wards? Oh my god.
He was one that got
Come
killed.
on, brain.
He's the one that got killed by Joker. Or supposedly.
I think that's Jason Todd, and that might be who...
Red Hood is.
Red Hood is. Hold on. Gotham Knight.
Nightwing is Dick Grayson.
Dick Grayson. Thank you. I hate that my brain's doing this. I hate it so much. It's driving me nuts. I know my Batman shit. I know it.
Doesn't look like right now.
Oh my god, that's killing me. Okay, so Robin is Tim Drake. Oh yeah, Robin's Tim Drake. Red Hood is Jason Todd. Batgirl is presumably Barbara Gordon. The problem is that Barbara Gordon in Gotham, in all 3 of the games, is Oracle.
Oh, you're right.
She's already disabled.
That's right.
So I don't know who this Batgirl will be, but I'm excited. And then obviously Nightwing is Dick Grayson, who was Robin at one point. So it's the 4 of them. It is a 2-player game, or it can be a 2-player game, and each character plays drastically different from the other for various reasons.
Yes.
So that is something I'm excited to see what Warner Brothers Interactive has coming to the table.
Yes.
So hopefully more of that, maybe a release date.
I would only say that we may not see that because there is a DC fandom event happening in August that they showed it last time. Those 2 games, Stat and Suicide Squad. So if they did not show up on E3, probably more than likely be showing up at the DC fandom in August.
Right. That's also assuming that, like, you might be absolutely, not incorrect. You might be absolutely correct on that. That they're holding those for that event, but Warner Brothers also holds the Scribblenauts series, Mortal Kombat, Middle Earth, Lego, Fear. So any of those could be announced.
The only thing I would say, no, will they hold it for DC Fandom? Maybe. The thing I've been hearing about for a while, and I'm not sure if it's true or not. There's been talks about NetherRealm, the guys behind Mortal Kombat, making a DC versus Marvel game, and for Capcom, I want to say, or not for Capcom, but what am I saying? No, they it was going to be in the style of a team battle type of game. Those rumors have been popped up recently again, because Ed Boon out there was kind of been trolling about it. If it happens, that'd be sick. I don't know. It's a 50-50 on that. If the only hesitation about it is that, again, like, if they're going to show that, yes, E3, but also DC Fandom will probably might play a part of it, or it just be Injustice 3, which is par for the course if they are doing that.
Yeah, I get you. You know, it would be interesting if they announced it. I doubt it, but like an old school looking, this would be so cool, man. An old school looking NBA Jam style game with all of the new Space Jam characters.
That would be interesting. That would be very interesting.
Dude, I think I don't know. I fucking check it out. Like, dude, I'm looking at all their, like, games and stuff, and there's a lot of stinkers on here, man. Let me tell you, there's a lot of stinkers.
I don't know what else Warner Brothers would announce. Honestly, I'm kind of like outside of NetherRealm, and then what Rocksteady is doing.
There has to be a Lego game they're gonna announce.
I give that 30%. I don't know. It's been a while since the last Lego game came out, and I'm not sure how well it did. But
the last Lego game, let me look at the list here. Let me go all the way down to the bottom. The next one that's coming out is Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which is like a revamped version of the episodes 4 or 7, 8, or not. Actually, it's 1 through 9 in one full game is what it is.
Okay, cool. That's right. Remember hearing about that.
Probably more information on Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
Trying to get people interested in that.
Yeah, for sure.
Back 4 Blood is a fucking Warner Brothers produced game?
Really? I thought they were indie. I thought they were independent.
No, it's Turtle Rock Studios. And I guess
wow. Cool.
Warner Brothers.
Okay. Then we'll see Back 4 Blood. I'm excited for that game.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure on that one.
Yeah.
Do you think that Mortal Kombat will be shown? Because Injustice would definitely be at DC Fan whatever.
No, I think they're done with Mortal Kombat. I think that last DLC they pushed out. I think that they're done, unless they want to push out more DLC. I think they're.
You don't think?
I think they're done completely.
You don't think they're just going to straight up like announce 12? Not a date or anything. Just say that they're working on 12.
So. They have said that they're tired of making Mortal Kombat games, and they want to do something a bit different. At the end, spoiler alert, at the end of Mortal Kombat 11, the Aftermath DLC, there was a hint that they might be possibly remaking Shaolin Monks, which if that happens, holy shit, that'd be sick. But
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, but outside of that, they're done with MK for a bit, and either gonna work on another Injustice game or they're gonna work on something completely different.
Huh. Well, I'll be damned. Mm-hmm. All right then. Well, yeah, I don't know. At that point, I have fucking no idea. I don't know. I mean, Capcom, Activision, Bandai Namco, typical fare for them. I also don't think that. I think that anything announced for Capcom, Activision, Bandai Namco, Sega, Gearbox are all going to be in their in another person's showcase. Yeah, agreed. I think Gearbox will definitely be in the Xbox showcase. Activision will be in the Xbox showcase. Capcom will be in the Nintendo or Xbox showcase. or even the no, they'll be in those two. Maybe PC, but doubt it. And EA Play is not happening until July anyway. So
yeah.
Who cares about EA?
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I know that in the next few weeks, a lot of stuff's going to be coming up the pipeline, and Anthony and I have been talking about it, and we definitely want to come back every Sunday and just do a catch up on what was talked about. So.
Yeah, all the
it's
good
going to be
stuff.
fun. We're basically going to be doing a summer run of all queued up. Wow, Greg, well done.
Oh, what?
Of the Mission Start podcast.
Yeah, you're fired.
The Mission Start.
I'm gonna leave. God damn it.
No, come back. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think I want to wrap it up because I gotta get to working soon in minutes.
Okay.
So, but yeah, if you want to do the outro and whatnot, Anthony, go ahead and do that.
Absolutely. Well, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. This video will be on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't followed us already, follow us on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/MissionStarTube or tubes. I've been with the S. But yeah, you'll be able to follow us there and check out our video content. And yes, E3 is here, and we're back at it again with the grind. So expect us to be talking about games again, starting with this one. And yeah, we're back at it. So before we go, Greg, real quickly, where can I follow you on the internet?
You can follow me under all socials under Chub Rock Geek, or find me under all socials at Chub Rock Geek. You can also follow me on the All Queued Up podcast at allqueueduppodcast.com. Maya, Betty, and I discuss shows that you can see on streaming services, like Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, whatever. We have them all. I wish I was joking, so that way we can keep up with stuff and talk about shit. There's too much content, so we don't review everything, obviously. We just review kind of what interests us or interests one of us and then give a review. The latest episode was about Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, which you found on Netflix. Spoiler alert, all three of us saw that movie differently. And it's a fascinating conversation, which I personally fucking love. But yeah, you can check that out. If that interests you, go check that out on... I almost said the wrong name again, but allqueueduppodcast.com.
Oh man, you can follow me on Twitter at Defective Naruto. You can follow my VTuber Twitter account, which I post a new video every Saturday. It's at twitter.com/clawmaster_. And no dash shenanigans. And you follow the work that we do here on our YouTube channel of consistent video work of all sorts of content that we want to do. So, with that being said, thank you for watching, and we'll be back next week with more E3 wrap-up news.